So is Faces of Death just another lazy cash grab riding a popular name, or is there actually something worth watching here? So I went to AMC's Scream Unseen on Monday, and Faces of Death was the movie. And right off the bat, this is not a remake of the original Faces of Death. And honestly, I appreciated that. It's more of a meta crime thriller that uses the 1978 film as part of its story. The story follows Margot, played by Barbie Ferreira, a content moderator for a social media platform who stumbles across videos being uploaded recreating deaths from the original movie. Except the more she examines them, the more she starts to believe they are real. It's actually a bit of a similar plotline to the 2008 movie Untraceable, which to me is a far better movie, but there's still fun to be had with this. The main character, Margot, seems like your average introverted character at first, but as the story progresses, the movie reveals very recent trauma, which later influences why she's so obsessed with trying to figure out if these videos are real, and if so, how to stop them. I actually enjoyed that they did this with her character because what she experienced actually feels relevant to one of the themes of the movie and brings more emotional weight to the viewing experience. Her roommate, played by Erin Holiday, is also a great addition to the movie. Not only do their characters have great chemistry, but their friendship feels genuine, and you can tell the roommate is trying to help slowly bring her back from a dark place. The movie also does a pretty solid job at giving the audience some tense moments, and the first two acts really held my attention. I enjoyed the true crime aspect we get in the earlier parts, but even more than that, the multiple themes being explored. It takes some shots at content culture, the obsession with views, the pressure to constantly create, and the idea that companies will absolutely look the other way if something dangerous is going viral and making them money. Jermaine Fowler, as Margot's boss, embodies that perfectly in this. It's all about engagement, no matter the cost. And on top of that, the film taps into something even more uncomfortable: how desensitized society has become. Not really towards violence in movies, but with real world stuff. The fact that something horrific can happen and video of it can be online within minutes and people will watch it, that angle hits harder than anything else in the movie, in my opinion. My favorite part of the movie, though, is Dacre Montgomery's performance. Most of you will know him as Billy from Stranger Things. Man, his performance is awesome. He's unhinged, he's creepy with and without the mask he uses, and he's an extreme example of someone obsessed with content creation. And I like that the movie doesn't hide his identity early on. It allows us to get a better glimpse of his insanity without having to do the whole who's behind the mask bit. With all that said, I definitely have some mixed thoughts and cons here. First off, if you're expecting the shock value the original has, you won't get that in this. It definitely feels like it held its punches at times, which is unfortunate when you're using the name of a movie that was known for being shocking and controversial. I do feel like the movie does have some pacing issues in parts where it drags, specifically in the middle portion. For a movie that's framed around the original Faces of Death, I did expect more disturbing scenes and blood and gore from this. Don't get me wrong, you do have a decent amount, but I found the movie to be pretty tame from what I was expecting. And to that point, I think they actually needed to feature more kills where we are watching from within the room with the killer and not just a video on the internet. The kill we do get to see while it's actually happening was way more effective and visceral than when you see them as internet clips. To me, it just felt like they were playing it safe. It does also get very predictable at times, and you will almost certainly and correctly guess things that are going to happen. My biggest gripe with this movie, though, is the character decisions. One in particular that is made by our lead Margot closer to the end of the movie. The thing is, our lead is a smart character. She's not written to be some big-breasted blonde chick who just had sex and is now running away from a killer who moves at tortoise speeds. Meanwhile, she's tripping on every branch in existence in the middle of the forest yelling for help. But there's a point in this movie where she can make the smartest decision possible or the dumbest decision possible, and she chooses the dumbest one. Not only that, it leads to a situation that if this occurred in a neighborhood like the one in the movie, everyone who lives on that street would be calling the cops. They'd be lighting up your Ring app with community posts like, "That didn't sound like fireworks." I am perfectly fine suspending my belief for movies when it creatively asks me to, but this was just beyond stupid. The last act was unfortunately kind of weak in my opinion. There's clues that tell you what's pretty much about to happen. One of those I did actually think was clever, but it reveals kills that, again, happen off camera and would have been super effective had we seen them during the movie. Overall, I still think Faces of Death is worth the watch. It has some strong and relevant themes in it, great performances, some decent gore, and just enough style and tension to keep you engaged. However, the first two acts are definitely the strongest, and I think some people are going to be frustrated by some of the character decisions made closer to the third act. That said, we all love different movies. Go support local theaters and support horror movies so you can get your fright on. I'll see you guys in the next review.